I am grateful to be alive and well today. What are you grateful for? Let's make an effort to be at peace with each other and make the little things count as you fellowship today. Hello there, I'm Adrian Atkinson and welcome to the Boxing Day edition of Jamaica Magazine. Let the show begin.
At Christmas, we're all in a celebratory mood. Sometimes we may drink more than we should. We are in a light-hearted mood. We lose our presence of mind. But that's dangerous. At Christmas, we should all be looking to see the new year. We should all be looking to be alive to see the new year. It is the time when we should be looking to slow down in everything that we're doing. It should be the time when we're looking to be with our friends and family and to enjoy life. So at Christmas, don't put out your light. Don't put out your light by carelessness. Be cautious on our roads. I want to see you next year. Drive safe.
We continue to share the joys of Christmas with the gift of more homes under the government's new social housing program, just in time for the holiday. Take a look.
How are you, my dear? You are the lucky lady. Merry Christmas and a happy new house. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I feel so good getting this house because the condition of the old house, it was very bad. It was leaking, the wall was literally tearing down. So I feel 100% better. Words can't even explain.
Hold on, I know you're eager. Ready?
Ready when you're ready, sir.
After 3, 3. The key to your house. Merry Christmas. Wow. This is a lovely house. Nice. I can bet this is your bedroom.
Yes. I am thankful to God and I am thankful for Him and all who that made it possible that I could live in this house.
Good. I can come into your house, Mr.
Yes, please. I'm inviting you all to come into my new house. I give all you people thanks. And Mr. Prime Minister, may God bless you and keep you and give you long life. Both give thanks to God.
The most satisfying endeavor for me is to hand over these houses it really shows government at work. We're talking about transforming people's lives. The greatest transformation is to move someone from homelessness to a home. 1 million!
Welcome to my new home. On behalf of me and my family, I want to say thank you to Mr. Andrew Holness and his hard-working team, to the taxpayers of Jamaica, for making my dream of owning a house come true.
Right. It is important that government has a program to intervene in this, to break this cycle of shelter poverty. And that program is the new social housing program. The intention is to build 6,000 units or more to ensure that the persons who are living in the worst of the worst shelter conditions can have an opportunity to break the intergenerational cycle of housing poverty. We have intervened now in over 300 families, and this is the result. So we have moved this family from shelter poverty to shelter prosperity.
This is a special time of the year, one in which joy is spread and solid waste increases. So we urge you to practice composting and other waste recycling activities to reduce the quantity of garbage sent to our landfills. Government is in on the mission. Let's see how one particular initiative is helping to create a culture of cleanliness in our communities.
With our best effort, the National Solid Waste Management alone cannot clean up Jamaica, cannot clean up Maypen. We have to get the buy-in of the residents. What is Bag It Up? Bag It Up is simply saying to you, take responsibility for the solid waste that you generate. As small as an ice cement bag, paper, as small as a Wrigley's wrap, don't throw it out through the car window. Don't drop it at your foot. Put it in a bag, pack it up, bag it up, so that we can come and take it. We want to encourage containerization in the very minimum. We don't want you to believe that it's only when you have a lot of garbage that you must take responsibility for it. We want you to take responsibility for just a little biscuit paper, even the little biscuit paper, the little thing that wrap up the little bun that you eat, the little patty bag. We want everything to be properly containerized.
SPM Waste Management, a regional company of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, launched the community-based project Bag It. It seeks to address issues associated with littering in the town of Maypen, Carindon. Research shows that vendors and passengers in public transportation vehicles are among the main contributors to littering in the parish's capital. The Bag It campaign wants to change behaviors associated with improper solid waste management and implement effective measures for containerization.
Maypen Town Centers is one of those heavily populated town centers. So we decided that Maypen Town Center is one of those areas that we should start by sending the message. We want residents to understand that with garbage not being properly containerized, right, it will contribute to the flooding of the garbage in the town. We have our sanitation crew who start to clean the town centers from as early as 4 a.m. each morning. But when you move through the town centers, like around 9, 10 a.m., it's like the town hasn't been swept. Baggett is one initiative that we are partnering with the Maypen Parish Council. We are partnering with the vendors, we are partnering with the taxi owners and operators, and we are partnering also with some of the businesses in the town centers. Now, we have made some bumper stickers to put on some of the taxi, and we will be asking some of these taxi owners, operators to help us to spread the message, to encourage passengers who traverse in their taxi on a daily basis not to throw the garbage through the window. As small as a box, you know, bag juice, whatever it is, it helps to contribute to flooding. So we want residents to desist from dumping.
None of my passengers have to throw no garbage for out of my car. Because we have a bag, sit there. Any passenger eating in my car and throw things through my window, I throw them out of the car at the same time. I must leave it in the car, and at the end of the day I took it out, chuck it in the bin.
Now, if persons want to eat in the car, and instead of them throwing the garbage outside the window, they can put it in the car, in the bag. As it relates to the vendors, we have made some bibs, and we'll be giving those bibs to some of the vendors in the market as much as possible. Now, with the bibs, what will happen is that they will wear the bibs, and the bibs will bear the sign Baggett, and also do the right thing. Now, we are asking the vendors in Maypen Town Centre to talk to some of their customers who come in on a weekly and a daily basis. Listen, look here, just stop throwing the garbage all over the market, because guess what? When the garbage clog up the drains, it helps the market to flood out.
It's a good purpose that we should put our garbage in and don't litter the place and keep our surroundings clean.
It is good for bagging it, because if you bag it, you just take it up and put it there in the truck, come and pick it up.
I got the garbage bag and I'm gonna put the garbage in it, that I don't have to litter the place.
Heel up. Big up the plastic them. Yo, don't mess the place here, keep it real.
Across the country, you have different audiences, so we have to target various groups to help us spread the message. So the vendors will help us, the taxi owners, operators will help us, right? The people who own the supermarkets, restaurants, etc., we want them to help us as well.
Right across Jamaica, we have the challenge where some people believe that they must just throw things out. They must just discard items at will. We want to inculcate in the minds of people from very early that we are responsible for the solid waste that we generate.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, folks dressed up like Eskimos, and everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe just to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow, will find it hard to sleep tonight. You know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is going to spy to see if reindeers really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. This is Christmas time, a very special time of the year. And we wish for you and yours all the best for this season. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. You're watching Jamaica Magazine. All the best for the holidays. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah, and you, yeah.
The festive season is not all cheers, laughter, and good times for everyone. It's also a time that triggers anxiety and depression due to traumatic experiences. So as we navigate this period, let us reach out to a friend, a family member, or even a stranger who may need our support in this time. In the meantime, here's a few signs to look for and ways you can help.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Now, today we'll be talking with consultant psychiatrist Dr. Jeffrey Walcott on how to cope with the loss of a loved one, especially at this time of the year. Dr. Walcott, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
First, explain the impact of the death of a loved one.
Well, you see, most persons experience loss differently,
yes,
but there are commonalities. But I think one of the most important things for us to recognize is that dealing with grief is a normal human experience. It's something that we have to go through. It's inevitable, and it's not a pathology. In saying that, however, we recognize that it is painful and can be immensely painful for persons who are experiencing, depending on how close they are to the person that they have lost. And so there's been a sort of framework that has been developed to identify the emotional states that persons go through. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross had developed a pattern of grief that we see. And initially what you see early in the loss is the business of denial. Persons end up in shock because you can't process it at the immediate impact of the event. And then persons go through feelings of anger, you go through stages of bargaining, and then eventually you then start to have the feelings of depression and finally acceptance. Mm-hmm. And those steps are not clear or linear. In other words, people can go through various stages at various times, and there's no time limit. So each person is different, but what you require during those stages remains somewhat similar. People need information, they need connection, they need support, emotional support, and at the end, they need guidance and some amount of direction as to how to get their lives to move on while incorporating the loss that they've gone through.
Yes. What kind of information you're talking about
When you
here?
talk about persons having to deal with the shock, it's important for you to engage with them and to actually help them to process the events of what's been happening. You think of a sudden loss, for example, COVID-19, immediately persons start to question what's happened in the hospital, what happened with the person, what's going on. And it's important for you, even though the questions may seem difficult or intrusive, it's important to take the time and follow through and answer the questions of the persons that are grieving, because it allows them to move beyond the stage of shock and denial that they're going through. And we have to spend time talking to people. I think that's the most critical thing.
That's important, yes. So would the impact be different depending on the age of the person?
It does, and depending on the experience. Persons who have dealt with loss before tend to be more resilient. Resiliency is a trait, not a character trait, but it's a learned process that we develop over time. The more difficulties we go through, the more adversities, the stronger we are at dealing with future events. And so persons will vary based on experience, based on age, based on stage of development and psychological strengths. So it tends to be different with each person, but some of the commonalities are they all need support. They all need a shoulder or a listening ear, and we all need a supportive community around us when we go through these.
So it's not true that children would deal with it better than probably an older person, not a middle-aged person, but a much older person.
Not necessarily. I mean, the issue with children is that their processing of it might be different because they may not understand or be able to conceptualize the issues as they are for an adult. But it still has lasting effects, and in some cases, the effects that you see in children could be far worse because it can then manifest itself in the later years. And so it's important for us, while we recognize it, to not exclude or to dismiss the experience that anyone is going through when it comes to dealing with pain and suffering.
Right. Talk to us about some of what we should look out for, the signs that we would see and the kind of behavior in persons who are going through this kind of grief.
I think one of the important hallmarks or triggers for the intervention process is withdrawal. Persons who are going through any form of psychological pain or suffering would have a normal tendency to withdraw, and that's the wrong and counterproductive thing to do, because at this stage is when you actually need to have the support of persons around you, not necessarily to discuss what's happened, but just to be there, just to be in a safe space with persons that are supportive, that are sharing in the grief.
Okay, so what other signs can we look with? So there's withdrawal. Are there any kind of other signs?
So, and I think what a delineation is to identify when clinical or significant impairment has occurred where we'll need professional help. And I think that's where I alluded to. But the issue is, once you have changes in your sleep patterns, your appetite, physiological changes, in other words, you're being impaired now, first physically and then psychologically, not able to perform at work, not able to do your normal daily routine, and then that may be a need for some level of professional intervention. But it's important to understand, because most people view psychiatric care or psychological care as an intrusion or as somewhat of a forced entity, but it's really not. We're here to help and to provide support as much as you need.
At what point should two persons actually go get help, professional help?
Well, there's a short answer to that, and the short answer is if they feel the need or if the family has a concern, you should seek help, because if it's not needed, we will just guide you along that process. But if it is needed, it's better to err on the side of caution.
How long, though, should a person be grieving for?
There is absolutely no way of telling that. But in essence, the process should not be impacting your functionality for greater than probably a 2 or 3 week period. And if it continues to impact your functionality beyond that point, you need assistance to maneuver the channels of grieving that you're going through and to actually help you. So one of the interesting things about our country as it stands now, most, if not all, the public health facilities have mental health services attached to them in the nearest community clinic that you can have. And there's a plethora of both private and public entities that provide psychiatric and psychological services. And the Ministry of Health actually has several helplines that they have created to be able to direct persons to access psychotherapeutic or supportive psychotherapeutic services and mental health services all across the island. So all you need to do is to reach out to one of your health facilities or even your private practitioner, and they can guide you to accessing mental health care, both in the public and private sector.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, all troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, all troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow and we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via X at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.